Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the Jindal Drilling and Industries Limited Q3 FY26 earnings conference call hosted by Antique Stock Broking Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during this conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Varatharajan Sivasankaran from Antique Stock Broking Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Swapnali. A very good afternoon to everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome all the participants and the management of Jindal Drilling to this results conference call. We have with us Mr. Raghav Jindal, Managing Director, and Mr. Kaushal Bangani, Deputy GM, Investor Relations and Finance. I'd like to hand over the call to Mr. Raghav Jindal for the initial comments. The floor is yours, sir.
Good afternoon, shareholders. Thank you for joining our earnings call. The results in the third quarter of FY26 on an operational level were broadly in line with what we had communicated earlier, and there has been no major change in the performance on a quarter-to-quarter basis. The key variation which has happened in the second and third quarters is on account of other income. In the previous call, we had highlighted that there was a old litigation with ONGC which had favorably concluded, and we had made a gain of around 100 crore rupees on the original receivable of 66 crore rupees. This gain was on account of interest and forex and was suitably accounted in the other income line item. However, since that point in time, the favorable award of the Bombay High Court was appealed in the Supreme Court, and the matter has again become sub judice. Due to this development, our auditors and board were of the view that till this matter is concluded in finality, we should reverse the income which has already been booked in the earlier quarter, and therefore the other income line item is negative in the third quarter. I would like to stress that there has been no change in the operational performance of the company, but the bottom line looks to be much affected only on account of the other income and no other line item. I think that is the key development which shareholders would want clarity on, and therefore I would request Mr. Varatharajan to open for questions.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and two. Participants, you are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. We have the first question from the line of Siddharth Chauhan from Batlivala and Karani Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. I have two questions. The first is that you have 3 rigs whose contract will be ending in FY27. So, what is the expected dry dock expense for FY27?
The expenditure for refurbishment is not booked when it is incurred, but it is amortized over the duration of the contract. Normally, depending on the condition of the rig, the expenditure can be between 50 to 100 crores
Per rig.
per rig.
Understood. Understood. And the second question was that, even GE Shipping's two rigs are due for repricing in FY27. So just wanted to understand, in this scenario, will there again be a squeeze in rig rates, or do you see ample demand, let's say, from ONGC in the fields? How do you see the environment panning out?
So ONGC should be taking out a couple of tenders. We are concluding one today, and they are expected to come out with another tender very soon for 4 rigs. They have been in shortfall of rigs in the past, but hopefully in the coming times, they should build up on their rig count. We don't see any major challenge coming up.
Understood. And just to follow up, any developments in the Andaman Basin, are you seeing more tenders which they would want for the Andaman side of things, or do you not see the demand as of now today?
Not for the current year, or at least nothing out in the open yet.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, sir, and all the best for the future.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. We have the next question from the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor Co. Please go ahead.
Yeah, namaskar, sir. Hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Sir, firstly, Jindal sir, if you could just give us the global landscape in terms of the rig counts, and with the current uptrend that we have seen in the crude oil prices as well as the natural gas pricing, what would be its implication in the short term and going ahead with the type of geopolitical scenario? What should be its impact on the rig rates, your expectation, and the global landscape?
So, the rig rates really got a hit when Saudi Aramco had terminated a few contracts. Now it has resumed those contracts back, and most of them are back into drilling in Saudi Aramco, which is a very, very positive global trend, I would say. The prices are still in excess of 100,000 globally, but the rates in India were affected due to competition in the last tender. Hopefully, in the coming tenders, we should be aiming at a higher level, because obviously those rates were something which were not feasible. And globally, the demand of rigs are also going up since Saudi Aramco has taken back its rigs, and the rigs suited to the Indian market are very less. So we don't see much international competition entering the market for ONGC.
Okay. And sir, currently, as the earlier participant also mentioned about the dry dock rigs of your competitor, GE Shipping, also now available for the current tender process. So, what is in the bid process? How many rigs have ONGC bid requirement is, and the availability in the Indian waters?
So currently, they have come out with a 4-rig tender, out of which we are getting Jindal Pioneer back into India, and we will be bidding that. That's happening today. And in the coming few weeks or months, we expect few more tenders coming out from ONGC, where we will bid the other rigs that will be dehiring this year. I can't really talk about the competition as to what they will be doing, but our aim is to get the rigs as and when they get dehired and get a contract for them.
Sir, when we look in your presentation, Kaushalji, you have mentioned at order book for Q4. So this is what the revenue trajectory is likely to be? That is what is being alluded by mentioning order book for Q4 of 237, I think.
Yes.
Okay. And a small point, sir, in the presentation also we have alluded to the fact of rented and owned rigs. by the company. And in your earlier conversation also, you people have expressed your views about getting more rigs, more assets directly into the company, thereby improving the profitability. So in that aspect, where are we, sir, in terms of adding more rigs which are still rented or are owned by your group companies? Because it was earlier also mentioned that a thought process was given to buy out or to get some arrangement for the rigs with MSL also, Maharashtra Seamless. So are we again in the process, since now the demand and the dynamics have also changed and we have cash on books also? What should we expect, sir, going ahead?
There is no update on that, and we have not received any communication from Maharashtra Seamless.
Okay, sir. Right, sir. I'll join the group. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and one to ask a question. We have the next question from the line of Apurvo, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Sir, I just want to know the rig rates, what all factors does it depends on? Like, I think it is one would be the crude oil, and rest you can tell us. Thank you.
So crude oil is one factor which is there. Crew rates, the drilling costs, everything is increasing by the day. So all that really matters, and more so matters what the competition is and what the worldwide scenario is. Like I said, with Aramco taking back its rigs and not expecting too much of international competition into the Indian tenders, we should be able to increase rates gradually, not substantially, because obviously ONGC will not be ready for a big jump. So hopefully in the coming few tenders, step by step, we should be able to increase the rates like how it's seen in the future, in the past.
Sure. So also, sir, like for the FY20 and 29, still we have to go for the tenders, right? So like by how much time before do we book the tenders? Like, is it by FY27 end we would be going for the FY2029 tenders, or maybe in next few quarters we will be going for it?
The ONGC has a schedule wherein it requires minimum of 3 months before the rigs. If a rig is getting dehired in the next 3 months, we can bid for it. And so there are different calculations for that. So we will aim to bid the rigs as and when the tender comes out for ONGC and hopefully secure its position. After a rig gets dehired, it takes about 3 to 4 months for refurbishment as well. So we have to take everything into consideration before we bid those rigs.
Okay. Got it. And also, sir, one last question. So I was going for like some other companies as well. There is something called tonnage tax, where the government pushes the company to pay tax less and reserve that money to acquire more vessels. It's generally in the shipping sector. So just want to know, like, is there something in this industry as well?
We pay tonnage tax as well, but it is a very nominal amount. It is maybe less than few lakh rupees. So it is not a significant thing per rig.
Okay. Got it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and one to ask a question. We have the next question from the line of Amit Agicha from HG Hawaii Company. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. So my question is like related to the industry and cycle view. Like, where do we stand in the offshore drilling cycle, like early, mid, or peak? And like, how should investors think about cycle length and sustainability this time versus the previous cycle?
No one can predict oil cycles, so it will not be appropriate for us to comment. We are a strong company. We are debt free. We have cash on the books. We have rigs available with us. All of our rigs are deployed, and we are working on getting rigs redeployed as and when they get dehired. We do not think in terms of oil cycles, because then it leads to speculative ideas which we do not want to engage in.
And so, like, would the management be considering the buybacks or dividend policy? If you can just put some color, since we are cash rich now.
We are cash rich, but you should also bear in mind that in calendar year 2026, 3 of the rigs are getting dehired. Therefore, they will go into refurbishment. So we are conserving cash for the refurbishment exercise. In addition to that, there is also dues to the vendor from whom we have acquired Jindal Pioneer. Therefore, cash is meant for operational purposes and we want to conserve it. However, we have also noted the concern of the shareholder. Therefore, we have doubled the dividend which was paid out in the previous financial year from the level it was in the year before that.
Thank you, sir. All the best for the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. We have the next question from the line of Pawan Nahar, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So my first question is for Kaushal. You mentioned right now that there is an amount due to the vendor from which we purchased the previous rig. Can you please mention the amount due?
$35 million approximately.
So ballpark, that will make us like, that will take away almost the entire net cash that we have right now.
No.
Hello?
Yes, no, because every year we are earning more cash.
Sure. As on today,
we will be doing 350 crores of EBITDA in the current year, slightly more than that, and next year also I think we will do around 350 crores of EBITDA.
Okay. The second thing is, as Mr. Jindal mentioned, that there are rigs, and you also mentioned rigs coming up for dehiring or a new contract. So currently our EBITDA does not include any number from Jindal Pioneer, right? It is yet to add. It is showing in the gross block, but it is yet not contributing. Obviously, I understand that, but so for next year, the upside would come from the rig that will get deployed now. One, yeah, it is not in the current, and the volatile part would be whether it goes higher or lower, perhaps lower, from the rigs that get decommissioned in 2026 or whenever there was 3 rigs. Yeah, is that understanding correct?
For Jindal Pioneer, it is not correct to say that it is part of gross block, but it is not earning. That rig was acquired in March 2025, and it was on a contract at that point in time, and it continued to generate revenue till about October of 2025. Thereafter, it went into refurbishment. Once the rig goes into refurbishment, at that point in time, it stops earning revenue. But the refurbishment exercise is for the subsequent contract, which we are expecting to get in about the next few months. On the other 3 rigs, which are getting dehired, any commentary on earning upside or earning downside would not be appropriate, because we don't know the rates at which they will get rehired. And this is a market which is almost always in flux. So rates can shoot up very quickly, they can crash very quickly.
Sure enough. So, Mr. Jindal, you mentioned that, you do not expect international competition in the ONGC tenders because maybe what I understood is there is a specific requirement for drilling for rigs in India, which is mostly not there with the international players. And if I were to turn it around, is there the Indian rigs, let's say what we own, and if the rates are higher outside versus here, I mean, doing whatever the maths you need to do, are you willing to deploy them outside? Like you, I believe, have one right now in UAE. So are you willing to increase that number further?
Yeah, we would be looking at international contracts, and we're actively working towards that. However, why I said that the Indian competition would not increase with international rigs is because there are not too many rigs with the same specification which ONGC requires, and for them to change it to an ONGC requirement would be a very high cost, and that cost would not be equivalent to the rates that you get in India. So for them, it's better to keep the rigs outside. Whereas, yeah, you're correct. We are working on rigs to be deployed outside, and we have spoken to a few companies. We've registered with a few other clients outside India. Usually, outside India, you see smaller contracts and shorter contracts. We prefer the longer 3-year and 5-year contracts in India. So hence we bid for that as a first priority. Not to say that we are not looking at national contracts.
Okay. And in one of the earlier calls, I saw there was a comment that we are planning or exploring, to get into services business for rigs or for drilling or offshore. Can you please elaborate, like, what are you thinking out there and how would you do it? Would it be organic? Would you acquire? If you can just
Not currently, but we were looking at services of boats and other things, but nothing in the pipeline for this year as such. We are concentrating on getting back the 3 rigs that will be rehired, and we are working on it, but I don't have anything concrete to tell you right now.
Okay. Thank you. Good wishes.
Thank you. Participants are requested to press star and 1 to ask a question. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. We have the next follow-up question from the line of Amit Agicha from HG Hawaii Company. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the follow-up. Sir, can non-rig services scale meaningfully without large capital deployment?
Can you please repeat? I could not understand.
I'm talking about the non-rig services, the mud logging and directional drilling. Can they scale meaningfully without large capital deployment? Will the company be able to give the proportionate, what is the revenue from rigs and non-rigs services?
We've already given the bifurcation of the EBITDA that is earned from the non-rig segment. Please refer to slide 8 or 9 of our presentation. So segment-wise bifurcation has already been given. Although there is no specific requirement, we still give it out just so that interested shareholders are able to gain a better understanding.
So on slide number 8, I think I'm on 8 number, only the total revenue is shown, EBITDA and EBITDA margin is shown. Here, I think, sorry, non-rig services bifurcation is not mentioned, no?
Slide 10, it is a very short presentation. I
yeah.
cannot understand why I have to explain.
Yeah, directional drilling. I think on slide number 11, correct. Yes. Rigs and directional drilling and mud logging.
It is already in public domain. Please go through it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Mehul Panjwani from 40 Cents. Please go ahead.
Sir, thank you so much for the elaborate details. You mentioned about in the opening commentary about the Supreme Court the litigation in the Supreme Court. So what are the timelines to get a final verdict on that one? I mean, I know that you cannot give exact timelines, but when is the next date, etc.?
In India, there is no timeline on legal cases. I will leave it at that.
Right, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and one to ask a question. As there are no further questions from the participants, that concludes the question and answer session. I now hand the conference over to the management for the closing comments.
Thank you, shareholders, for participating, and thank you, Mr. Varatharajan, for organizing the call. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Jindal Drilling and Industries Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining with us today, and you may now disconnect your lines.